Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Joey again with Ground Signals, and we're going to be doing another review of another Minelab product. And today we're going to be doing a review on the Minelab X-terra 70. The 70 is a precursor to the 705, which I did a review on a couple of weeks back. I used it, loved it, sold it, regretted it, and decided I need to get back and get another X-terra. Hence the 705 to the 70, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And this episode, guys, is brought to you by Goldschlager. If you want to find the gold, you got to drink the drink that's got the flakes inside. So let's get to the review. Alrighty, guys, so here we have it. The X-terra 70 from Minelab. This unit was a precursor to the 705. It is identical just about in every way, shape, or form to the 705. The only features that it's missing is going to be the backlight, and it's also going to be missing the frequency shift option, which is kind of nice when you're trying to offset the target ID numbers for pull tabs or anything that you want to discriminate. You can alter the target ID numbers and kind of fool the box to believe that it's discriminating something else while not discriminating the numbers that are associated with relics and jewelry that you want to keep. Kind of an advanced option, but I hardly ever use that feature, and this seems to do the job quite well. So we're going to go ahead and cut this on and see what it's all about. Power button. It looks like everything lays out here just about the same way as the 705 does. We're going to go ahead and go with the target ID here and take a look and see what these icons do. To the left here, you're going to have number 1. That's going to be your patterns. This box right here comes loaded from the factory with 3 preset patterns for discrimination while you're hunting. We're going to go through here 1, 2, and 3. And each of these black items here are going to be what's been discriminated out, and then everything in between there is what's allowed in. Okay? That's a pattern 3. I go to pattern 1, and my pattern 1 here, I've notched out like some of the ferrous targets down below, which are mostly iron, and then I have 2 notches here which are pull tabs, and I've notched those out. And what's really nice here is that the 70 has 28 segments of discrimination. Normally with a lot of the detectors, if I notch out pull tabs, it's just 1. But here, they've actually taken the signal of the pull tab and they've given it 2 bars of discrimination, and I've notched both of them out because I just don't want to hear it, period. Now guys, that's kind of a dumb move. If you're actually looking for jewelry, everybody knows that you've got to dig pull tabs in order to find jewelry. So for me, it's a trade-off on days that I'm just basically hunting for, silver or, clad, what have you. I'm only going to be concerned with everything that's in between here. So these are the low frequencies. This is going to be like all the gold, and then above here is going to be all the silver. I've kept all those in. Alright, so like I said, be warned, if you notch out pull tabs, you possibly could be just notching out some jewelry too. Alright, so moving on, the next button down here is going to be all metal. So if you don't want to hunt with any kind of discrimination, you want to just hunt wide open. A lot of people like to hunt wide open, and it's not really bad. You don't really need discrimination. All that does is turns off the signal, so you don't have to be constantly reminded that that junk target is down there. So if you want to hunt in all metal, you'll hit this button, and as you can see, all the discrimination segments are gone. So whatever you have in the ground, be it ferrous or non-ferrous, it's going to fire off on this detector, and you're going to hear everything. Okay? But if you don't want to hunt in all metal, you can hit this back again, and your segments of discrimination will come back. Alright? So let's go over here to the menu and take a look. We only have like 4 items on the menu. If you hit the menu, first one at the top, we're looking at the sensitivity. Sensitivity goes all the way up to 20. Actually, no, it goes all the way up to 30. I'm at 20. It goes all the way up to 30. So if you crank it up, and it can start to get kind of chatty from the EMI interference. So you just kick it down. And for me, in the house right here, it gets quiet at about 20. Okay? So the next one here we're going to go to is going to be your volume. I normally always hunt at full volume, wide open. Okay? If you're going to turn the volume down, you could do that in your headset. I'd recommend wearing a headset. There's normally a volume control on your headset, and turn it down from there, but keep this on at full volume. Okay? And next one here, you're going to have noise cancel. Noise cancel is for electrical interference that you may be, subjected to when you're hunting out in parks and fields and so forth like that. It could be power lines, it could be underground power boxes, or here in Las Vegas, it's going to be cellular towers. They're everywhere. Our cell towers look like trees. They've disguised them to look like pineapples or something like that, and they're hidden everywhere. So no matter where you go, you've got interference that are driving you crazy. So you can actually go up or down on the settings here for noise cancel. -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Those are your options. Now, on the noise cancel, you could select it yourself manually, or if you want to go automatic, the mode button over here gives the opportunity to let the control box do this automatically for you. It's going to go through its sequence here and scan each of its frequencies to find out which one is the quietest, and it will select it for you and it will activate it right here. And it's saying that number 2, with the interference that I have, is going to be the quietest frequency that we should hunt on. So we'll just leave it at that. Okay? Next one here we're going to jump down to is your threshold. Threshold is pretty important, guys. I didn't really know how important it was to understand threshold. And what is threshold? Let's just put it to you this way. Iron masking. If there's iron nearby a target, it can make the signal of that target appear to not be there, or appear like trash, or just interfere. And a lot of times you might dismiss it and say, oh, it's junk, and just walk away. By activating your threshold, you're going to get a hum. I've got it at 12, but you can kick this thing all the way up. You hear that hum? Now what's going to happen here is that hum, when you have a target that is discriminated out, if you run across the iron, that hum will have a momentary blip where it fades out and comes back on. So you're not going to hear the signal come in through your coil saying that there's iron, because you've already discriminated out. But the threshold, if you keep it audible enough, you're going to hear it mute and come back on. And that's going to let you know that there's iron in the ground that could be interfering with a target that you're trying to isolate. So what you're going to do is you're going to slow down your coil sweeps, and you're going to be more specific in how you work your coil in and out and around that target, trying to extract that signal through the iron masking. So threshold, guys, something you want to play with. Not too loud, not too low. You want to get it right, just right to where it's kind of like a little, sounds like a little mosquito or a bee near you, and you hear it there. And you can also notice that when it dips out and comes back on, then your threshold is actually set at the correct setting. All right, next one here, you've got tones. Now there's 4 tones on this, and the 5th one, which is the 99 tones. The 99 tone, guys, if you're starting off, that might be a bit much for your senses. They're going to assign a tone for every single segment, it seems like. And so, with 99 tones, it's going to sound very busy, and it might be sensory overload for you. I associate it to R2-D2 sounding. Okay, so you've got 4. 1 tone for everything, 2 tones. It's going to split your ferrous items, is going to be 1 tone, and then your non-ferrous is going to be the 2nd tone. Then you've got 3 tones, which is going to break those segments down in 3, and I normally hunt in 4. Okay, 4 different tones. And to give you an idea of what that sounds like, we'll go ahead and take the nickel, which is going to be like the lowest tone. Okay, and then the next tone is going to be like a zinc penny, kind of like a little bit higher than that. Then you're going to have the copper, almost the same. Then the dime. And then your high tones for the quarter. Okay, dollar, half dollar. Okay, so it's going to actually give you 4 different tones. You're going to have your grunts that are going to be iron, that's down below, and then you're going to have all the other ones come in. And if you want to hear, this is what I call R2D2, and if you get this, it's going to sound like this. There you go. I love Star Wars, but that R2D2 stuff out in the field drives me absolutely berserk. So 4 tones, keep it at that, guys. Next one there, going back up, is your sensitivity again, 30 to 20. So you've seen it all, right? We've gone through all of them. Menu select, and the next thing we're going to talk about here is going to be your pinpointer. The pinpointer on this right here, to activate it, you're going to hit it. The circle's going to come up, and there's going to be another circle in the center that's going to build itself up. When you have the outer circle and the inner circle go to full, then your target ID should be right in the middle of the coil. Now Minelab, on their coils here, especially the elliptical ones here, it's a double D, they put their sticker right in the area that's supposed to be the sweetest spot. At least this is what I've found. Okay, so if you take your target, here's a quarter. Right over the sticker, it goes to full power. All right. All along this here, you'll see it come on, but it seems to like that point right there, right above the sticker. Okay. Now, if you're not comfortable using that method of targeting your signals, what you can do is do the wiggle. I've already discussed this in one of my other videos, and the wiggle basically just means to take your target and bounce it back and forth until it falls off. Okay, so you get your target, you're going back and forth on it. Great. So you've got it right along the center spine of this coil, and you just keep wiggling it while you're moving the coil back towards you, and then it will finally fall off right near the nose of the coil, and that's another way to pinpoint. Takes a little bit longer, but once your speed improves, then you're going to be able to do this without thinking. So once again, you could use the pinpoint option. The sweet spot will be right in the center where the sticker is, or B, you can do the wiggle and have it drop off at the nose. All right, moving on. The next thing we're going to talk about is going to be the ground balance. The ground balance button is right here. Now, to ground balance this machine, you're going to hit, and you're going to, when you actually are out in the field, you're going to pump your coil up and down on the ground, 4 inches from the ground, pumping it up and down, and you're going to adjust using these guys until it gets quiet. All right, and as you go up and down, it's going to go high, low, and if it keeps going high or if it keeps going low, you're off. You want it to go high, low, high, low, high, low, and you'll know that you're correct. But if that is too much for you, you can always hit mode again and allow it to do it automatically, and this will find the correct ground balance for you, and it says 14 is where it's at. Okay, and that'll be the correct for the mineralization of your ground, the ground balance. All right, so as you're detecting in the field, sometimes your ground balance will change. Okay, and it could make your targets harder to hear, or it'll be harder for you. You'll get falsing and so forth because the mineralization can change. So every once in a while, you're going to have to stop and do a ground balance, right? Well, what's nice about this detector here is they have another feature here called tracking. And your tracking is going to allow this box to monitor the ground for you as you sweep. And it will make those corrections for you automatically. Okay? And to activate that, you just hit track. This little teeny frequency icon will come on here up at the top. And just go about your way, sweeping and looking for your treasure. Now, the only thing that needs to be done while you're in this mode is that when you're actually when you've actually found your target, you need to shut this off. Okay, so you're sweeping and you get your target, right? Fine, you found your target. What you need to do is you need to turn the tracking off, because if you leave the tracking on, this box is going to continue to track against what they think is mineralization, but it's actually the metal inside your target, and it's going to mess up it's going to mess up the way this thing detects the ground. Okay, so remember that when you guys are using the auto tracking, when you hit a target, turn it off, pinpoint, get your target, come back up, and then turn your tracking back on, and go about your way. That's about all that needs to be known about that. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and look at this button right here, which is the accept and reject feature for your discrimination notching segments. So let's just basically say if you had this nickel and you're hearing it, but you don't want to hear it anymore. It's going to fire a 12 and it's going to give you a segment. You don't want to hit that X button. It's going to give you this little black dot, and you shouldn't hear this anymore. It's gone. Okay? It's finished, and if you want it to come back, you just go ahead and hit this button again. Right over that 12. Hit accept. The notch is going to go away, and it brings it right back for you. But remember, guys, the smartest people out there will always tell you that you should hunt in all metal mode. Okay? And you shouldn't notch anything out. You're going to hear it, you're going to hear it, and you're going to see the number come up. And if it's not what you want, just don't dig it. Right? There's really no need to discriminate it out. When you hear the right tone and you see the right number and it sounds like a good solid signal, you dig it. You don't really need to discriminate things out, but it's all about preference and how you guys choose to detect. And that's about it, man. The only thing else I have to bring up here is you're going to have your battery icon over there, and you're going to have the tracking meter here to show you that it's on and tracking. The only other button that I see over here is going to be your mode button here. There's two search modes that this thing operates in. It's going to have a coin mode, which it's in right now, and it's going to have a prospecting mode. If you hit this right here, so the coin mode, as you notice, makes that noise. Prospecting mode, it's more of a whistle noise. Okay, so the prospecting mode is going to be great if you're going to go out to dry lake beds, rocky terrain areas, and you're going to actually use your high frequency prospecting coil to sift around rocks and dry lake beds looking for nuggets. That's great. You have that option with this. So this mode right here will shift you from coin to prospecting mode. So anyways, guys, that's my wrap up of the X-terra 70. It's a great unit. I bought it twice, the 705 the first time and the 70 the next time, and I don't regret this purchase at all, and I think it's a great unit for the value that you can get, and that's my review. Alrighty, guys, well, that was my wrap up and review of the X-terra 70. I find this box to be just as good as the 705. The only difference between the 705 gold pack that I did a review and this 70 is that this guy comes stock with the 7.5 kilohertz concentric coil, and the gold pack is going to come with the 18.75 kilohertz double D elliptical. This one right here I picked up off of eBay for around $315, and it came with both, and I couldn't complain for that price. I had to jump on it. Like I said once before, I bought this once before, and I sold it like an idiot, and I regretted it a couple of days later, and I had been on the hunt to try to get another one in my hands, and I didn't want to pay $600 for it, so I found this deal and I jumped on it, and I really like this coil right here. It only goes about 6 inches, and a lot of people say it doesn't have the depth, but for me, the way I use it, the way that I hunt for the common clad and lost jewelry at my parks, they're always within that 6-inch range, and this does just fine. And I like the way this thing sweeps. That 10-inch sweep pattern is just fine. It covers the ground perfectly. Now, if I want to hunt for some silver and I want to go a little bit deeper, then I would definitely go with this 7.5 kilohertz coil. And I'm kind of debating right now if I want to go out and buy the 10.5 double D coil. That's a 7.5 as well, and being that it's 10.5, it's going to have a lot more coverage, and it's supposed to be the best of both of these guys together, but we'll see about that. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for spending the time with me here. I enjoy talking to you. I hope I didn't ramble on too much for this review, and I'm going to get out there the next couple of days and put more work in with this. My first day with this, I found $9.75 in clad, man. Pretty damn good for a park that I thought I found all the other stuff in it already using Teknetics. But hey, maybe people just drop more stuff there. I don't know. But anyways, guys, thank you very much. Have a good evening. I'll be back later on with a different review. I'll catch you later. Have a good one.